Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Reckless Paradise podcast. I am your host, Dystro, and tonight's episode is episode 40 of Shoot the Shit. It is 40 episodes, 40 weeks, going strong here on the Reckless Paradise podcast. Next month in April is going to be episode 41. Um, man, 40 weeks of shooting the shit with y'all. God, time flies when you're having fun anyway. So, this one is going to be kind of interesting. But I mean, it's usual same topic that I usually talk about, like wrestling and all that stuff. But, I do want to point out that the first three episodes of March of this month is already in the can and already done. By the time the video does come, this episode does come out, we've already had three episodes in March already, and hopefully everything will be going well. But in April, I am going to be doing all the episodes by myself. I even picked out all the episodes myself because Marissa, for better or for worse, she is going to be in mother mode. If you have listened to the Let's Talk About Babies episode 2 weeks before this, she is going to be due in April next month. And she is going to be in mother mode. So she has tasked me to basically do do all the episodes and pick and choose like what episodes to do and all that stuff. I mean, shoot the shit is not going anywhere. But it was kind of hard to pick the episodes that I wanted to do because there were some that I was like, okay, well maybe I want to do this one, and but then I was like, okay, well how am I supposed to put this one in and also, but needless to say, April is going to be a very, very good month for content. There's like, I mean, I could say like there's a new career dives episode in the works, two rivalry episodes in the works that I really want to talk about, a new series on the show, if you will. I know we have a new series and we're doing lots of new stuff, but hey, you always gotta do some things that are outside your circle, you know? And, like I said, a TBT, a Throwback Thursday over a pay-per-view, 10 plus years ago in the making, and shoot the shit, as always, that's not going anywhere. So, let's kind of start with, I guess if we want to talk about wrestling stuff, I mean, we always do on this channel, but let's just talk about the Elimination Chamber that just happened. And I really don't know what to really say about Elimination Chamber. I didn't get to watch it, because I don't have ESPN and I refuse to buy a service that is going to make me even feel any kind of worse on myself. Um, but it did happen. And it is the 16th Elimination Chamber event. That's actually kind of crazy. But also in Germany, it's called No Escape Chicago, which sounds way better. Um, they only had four matches on the show. I really don't know what to say about that at this point. Because I mean, when you think about it, four matches on the show, and the two elimination chamber matches will take up like majority of your show. But here's the thing: both elimination chamber matches did not even go to 30 minutes each. Because the women's one went 24 minutes long, and then the men's one, it went 25 minutes and 20 seconds. That is crazy. But then you have to fill that time with like promos and hype packages and all that other bull crap. But then you kind of like put yourself into like a corner with that because not a lot of people want to see, hype packages and in interviews and promos and all this because the chamber matches they're supposed to go a little long. They're usually like 35, maybe 40 minutes, if that. But a good bulk of it, like Alexa Bliss was there for like 13 minutes. And then Kiana James and Asuka got pinned and stacked and packed by Raquel Rodriguez. And then Tiffany Stratton took care of her in 20 minutes 30. And then Rhea Ripley just packed her ass up in 24 minutes flat. Like, I'm sorry that, Elimination Chambers are supposed to go long, but it's like, come on. Um, and plus, like, a lot of these eliminations were rapid fire, too. Um, same for the men's match, too. Like, Javon Evans, LA Knight, and Trick Williams, they all got eliminated by Logan Paul, but they were like less than 2 minutes apiece. And it's like, what the hell are we doing here? Like, unless they had like a very, very short like time window, like maybe 2.5 hours or something, like I can understand that, but like, come on, like if you have the match itself, the pay per view called Elimination Chamber, and it's not like going 35, maybe 40 minutes or something, like that's freaking crazy. Um, like compared to the one last year, like the men's one last year went like over and a half an hour long, which is good. That's good storytelling. But then you have, the women's chamber, that went almost a half an hour too. And you would think like, oh, well, maybe we should give like a lot of these chamber matches like more time, but they don't even do that. They don't even do that. Unless like I said, like they have a short time window or something, or like, like it was so mind-boggling to me. Like the chamber that was in Australia 2 years ago. The women's chamber went over half an hour, and then the men's chamber went almost 40 minutes. Why couldn't we just do that? Like, why couldn't we just have a 40-minute men's chamber and almost over half an hour women's chamber? Like, I don't know why it's like they're getting shorter and shorter every year, but that's just so crazy to me that they are kind of just being like, well, they don't really want to see all of it and all that stuff. And it's like I can understand like if I can just see like if the chamber itself like it's falling apart or something and like hey let's just go home or something, that's different. But like you gotta like give the people what they want. And the two chamber matches alone could have been, back in the day, you could have like given like Triple H and Shawn Michaels that match, like that time of match length, because the two chamber matches combined take up 45 minutes and 20 seconds. That's literally a three stages of hell match right there back in the day. Um, it's like it's just so mind-boggling to me. That's why I didn't really watch it because, well, first off, I didn't have ESPN. Secondly, it's like I don't really watch WWE product anymore. I keep up with the product, but I don't watch it because a it's always made me realize that there's more than one um there's more than one like source of wrestling out there. You have AEW, you have NWA, you have TNA, you have um uh like various indie promotions like GCW and all stuff. So I think like the tipping point for me is because of the matches, like the matches, like not the matches themselves, but just like the amount of matches that they can have on a pay per view. Because like you think of like WrestleMania and all stuff, like yeah, it's a good thing they went to 2 nights, but you gotta put all of your eggs in one basket on one night because then the next night's gonna be like, oh, okay, well, it's kind of lackluster. They don't really give a shit. So, like, I can see, like, with the short match, like, match length and all that stuff, like, because there was, like I said, 4 matches on this show. I don't know if it was like 2.5 hours, maybe 2 hours or something. I really don't know. Um, like some of these matches kind of could have maybe went a little longer, maybe stretch it out to 2.5 hours, not like an hour and a half, maybe two. Um, that's just like a little pet peeve with me sometimes. But that's why I don't really watch to. That's why I really don't watch WWE anymore. I mean, same with AEW, but I hardly watch any AEW stuff hardly anymore. Like I said, like I keep up with the product and all that stuff, but other than that, I just watch various indies, mostly GCW. Um, which I mean, good segue here. I did get a chance to watch the 2 GCW shows. Um, uh, in February. Um, it was What's My Name and then Baller Blocking. Um, it was actually kind of cool to see the Blade coming back. Because I don't know where he's been. I know he's been on the shelf a little bit, but like, it's actually kind of cool to see him kind of, in the mix of things again. Just doing his thing. It was actually kind of funny to see Brody Lee Jr. I mean, yeah, yes, he is 14, but that kid's got a little bit of a mouth on him. He's a really good promo at some points. Um, but the talking point I want to talk about is the match that Joey Janela had against the Blade at Baller Blocking. And Joey wins, I think. And Brody Lee Jr.'s like, well, why don't you stop being Mega Bane's bitch and accept my challenge for spring break? And it's like, oh shit. And then like Joey Janela just power drives this kid straight to hell and all that stuff. And it's just like, okay, I can get behind that because it's a good story. And plus, we know that Joey doesn't want to have to beat some sense into Brody Lee Jr., but Brody Lee Jr. is not going to back down from a fight or anything. And plus, I would kind of like to see how it would play out at Spring Break 10 during the collective, during Mania. Um, and I think at this point there's been, I guess, some progression going into the Mania week stuff, like Mania collective stuff. Because I'm thinking that they're gonna do a match between Alley Catch and Iffy or Effie at either Big Gay Brunch or Spring Break 10. I think at Big Gay Brunch, I'm thinking that's what they're probably gonna do it. Um, and it's actually kind of intriguing. Um, I know we're gonna have Sandman versus Invisible Man at JoJo Spring Break 10. Um, but I'm kind of just feeling optimistic at this point because GCW has been kind of a saving grace for me at this point. I always look forward watching it. Even if I don't watch all of it, I'll watch it the next day to keep up, getting catch up. Um, because at one of the shows, the coldest winter, a few weeks ago, um, Matt Tremont had went down, and it was actually kind of a scary thing to see because like Matt Tremont's usually somebody that's kind of a big teddy bear, a big dude. Like I actually got to see him and actually meet him in person at the NGI 10 in December last year, and got a picture with him and all that stuff. And he was actually like, I actually told him like, you're one of the people that actually got me into GCW and deathmatch wrestling. He goes, that actually really appreciate that, bro. And I was like, yeah, that's no problem because like you don't get to meet your heroes a lot. And it was actually really cool to actually just see him and actually talk to him. Um, but I know that at Baller Blocking, he, I hate to say it, but it's like he got to a point where it's like Bear, Bronson, and Gabby had to kind of like say like like this is freaking enough, dude. Like I know Otis retained against Matt, um, but it's like one of those things where it's like, when is the envelope pushed too far in some matches? Because like I know one of the spots in the match was Fremont on the ropes, and he's got duct tape on his wrist, and he's tied up on the ropes and all stuff. And there's Christian Napier, Otis, and Atticus Kogar, like just beaming Matt's head with light tubes and all that stuff. And it's just like at one point is like the line being crossed before somebody says like, hey, like can we stop that sort of thing. Um, and it's actually kind of scary because like like you don't want to rob the fans of that. But then at the exact same time, when you're a promoter, it's like, when is enough enough? Um, and I love GCW for what it is, but like, there's some point at some time, like, there's some calls in that company that kind of makes you scratch your head a little bit, and it's like there's some points where it's like I was watching Atticus versus Mega Bane at Baller Block, and like the match ends with Megan giving up because she doesn't want to see her shoot mom, get skewers in her head. And I was like, okay, but like, you still could have just been like, say yes, but then you could have been like, given the fans like a happy note at the end of it. Like maybe her mom like kicks him in the balls or something, and like Megan just puts the skewers in his head or something like that. Like kind of make the fans go like yay, hooray! Now I go boo, and making people kind of pissed off. Um, I don't really know why they did that route. I mean, beats me. It's like I'm not the promoter, but like it was just one of those things where it's like, really, really. Um, I will give a shout out though to KJ Orso. He's actually like the inspiration behind my character Chris Chambers in CAW and EFED stuff. Um, and I'm actually one of those people that's like behind KJ Orso, like on the hype train for him. I know he's been picking up some like good wins recently, like the one against Don Freeze. That was beautiful. Um, I it's only a matter of time before they give the world title to KJ. Um, don't know when that would be, but I'm thinking the time is coming, and when he does win it, I am going to be shouting from the heavens, being like, KJ Orso is your new GCW World Champion, and it kind of just that's all I'm gonna say about that. But people can people can hate for all they want, but at the end of the day, it's like it's all in good fun. Um, but the match that I actually want to talk about at What's My Name was um Alec Price and Jordan Oliver versus Bear Bronson and Gabby Forza for the tag titles. Holy freaking shit. Um, I don't know what they were drinking that night or if something was in the water that night or something, but man, all those four were beating the hell out of each other from pillar to post. Um, there was a funny little exchange between Alec and Bear. Because I know Alec was like kind of like come on, come on, come on, hit me, and then like one forearm from Bear literally just took this man down, like made him crumble like a sack of hot bricks, and it was actually kind of like funny. Um, but it was actually kind of cool to see like Gabby and Bear kind of like mix it up with those two. I mean, I kind of knew that they were gonna retain either way. But man, like that pop if Bear and Gabby won the tag belts, like that would have been so cool. Um, and I think it was actually kind of cool from Jordan to say that Bear is like the ace and face of GCW, and he is correct. Like he is the face and ace of GCW right now. Because I had said in a Twitter post in February a few weeks ago, like Bear Bronson is one of my favorite indie wrestlers right now that's not signed to any company. I mean, well, except for TNA, but like outside of that, like he's one of those people that has went from a huge wrestling company and then got let go, but then he had to find his footing in something new, like in tested waters. And it's kind of like it's like what Jordan and Alex says, like, you either swim or you drown. And Bear Bronson, he swam fucking far, making it to like GCW and proving himself as an ultra violent deathmatch wrestler. It's one of those things where it's like, you just never know what you're going to get yourself into until you do it. And I think Bear really came into his own, especially with the matches that he had against Matt Tremont. Because even though he didn't win, he comes out on the other side looking good, and that's what you kind of want from a big guy like him, because he's a powerhouse, but he can still be kind of a hella athletic, and he is a good promo as well. And I wish I had fucking got to meet him at NGI 10 last year, because that would have been so cool to like just see him in person, like tell him like like you were freaking awesome, and actually meet Gabby in real life, except for through Twitter and all that stuff. Hi Gabby, hi Bear, how you doing? And, and I think it's just one of those things, like I said, coming from a wrestling company, getting let go, finding your footing in something else and all that stuff, and actually thriving. That's a huge, like, good Cinderella story for somebody that's like Bear. And I'm actually kind of intrigued to like how things will go for him in the future in GCW. Um, and I think he will do good things in GCW. Um, I think he could still be, a tag team champion also with Gabby. I mean, like, that'd be kind of cool. Um, I could actually see him being the ultraviolet champion, the dethroning Otis at some point, and also being the world champion at some point too. Um, but that is for another time. So keeping track with the wrestling stuff here. I kind of want to bring up the very evil, very strange elephant in the room at Elimination Chamber. The uh, the box. What's in the box? So if y'all had watched the broadcast at that point, um, we all knew that it was going to be Danhausen. That's actually kind of cool. Um, but I think it's kind of funny that a lot of people were pissed off that it was not Jericho. But you gotta think about it this way: Jericho is still signed to AEW. Danhausen is not. Um, Truth be told, did we want to see Danhausen in the box? Probably not. Did we want to see Jericho in the box? Perhaps yes. And I kind of wanted to bring something up that was kind of not funny, but so it says on the wiki site here, it says the reveal of Danhausen had a mixed reaction from the fans. While he was initially cheered when he appeared, other people booed him at the end of his segment. Dave Meltzer compared his debut to that of the Gobbledygooker, the most infamous wrestling debuts. Online reception to Danhausen's debut was mostly entirely negative, though some members of the online community and several wrestlers jumped in to defend him. I think about it this way: if they treat him as a good, legitimate threat and not be a comedy joke like R-Truth is, I mean, you could have him on the levels of R-Truth, but you don't want him to be so funny that you don't take him seriously. Um, like a good case in example, Santino Marella, um, he could be legit serious when he wants to be, but then he could also be funny when he wants to be. And you gotta have that good fine line between both serious and funny. Um, when I heard that he was compared to the gobbledygooker, like that's such a mild roast that it's kind of funny. Um, but it's like not a lot of people wanted to see Danhausen. Because a lot of people wanted to see Chris Jericho. Um, which I mean, I could see that, but the man's still with AEW. He's still doing the Fozzy stuff. Like, they're not really gonna let that cat out of the bag. Not that early. Not that early. But I guess we will just have to see and wait and see like what Mr. Danhausen will bring to the WWE, I guess. So sticking with the WWE stuff. At the time of this recording, 2K26 is officially live. Um, and hopefully people are enjoying the game. I am going to be trying to get to the game eventually. But I'm not going to be doing any of the pre-order stuff. Not this time, because I'd rather waste or focus my time on the actual game itself. Um, kind of high low expectations for it. Um, the high expectations is because of the creation suite stuff. And plus the rag doll physics that is in the game this year. That has me intrigued as well. It has me curious on like how much you can do with that. Um, I am kind of disappointed that the shared community creations thing. It's not over the platforms anymore. It's not you can't cross share community creation through PlayStation and Xbox. That's where it kind of like feels like one of those things where it's just like, okay, well, why are we gonna buy it then if we can't, share it? I think it's just because like people had gotten like I guess not desensitized, but kind of just felt, I guess, robbed. Like if they can make it the creation themselves, like then why are we sharing it with other people? But then it's like those people will be like, "Well, I made the creation." It's like you didn't, even though it's like got their fucking name on the gamer tag and all that shit. Um, I don't know. I think like from what I've heard through some of my friends on Discord servers that I've actually talked to, like there's some of them that are not going to be going over to the new game to do EFED stuff. Because it's going to be kind of a bitch to transfer everything over from 2K25 into 26. Probably starting from scratch all over again. And I think like a lot of people, especially EFED people, I'm thinking that they're probably going to be like, well, we'll transfer it over to 26, but then it's like, as soon as they try to get it over there and get everything set up and all that crap, it's like it's probably going to be like, oh, like this is why we didn't want to do it, and I think that's where a lot of the downfall of that's going to come in. Um, I, I just really don't know. I mean the pre-order stuff looks cool. It's not really like something that I would want to just buy willy nilly. Because like there's a lot of pre-order stuff that I could just get at a later date or when it's cheaper or something. I know like the early access is well in March, obviously. It comes out on March 13th. Comes out on March 6th for early access stuff. I mean, when you look at the prices for the standard, it's $70, which that's normal. But like $100 for the King of Kings thing, 130 for Attitude Era, and 150 for the Monday Night War stuff. Like, god damn. Um, like I mean, like I said, this is like a early recording before 2K26 comes out. Like this, at the time of this recording, I'm doing it hella early, but it's March 2nd, and it's 4 days before early access comes out. And 11 days before the actual standard edition comes out. Um, like I said, I went ahead and just did first 3 episodes of March already in the can. It's already good to go as soon as it drops. Um, I mean, I guess time will tell with it, just to see like how it will play out. Um, but I guess until then, it's like I guess we'll just have to wait and see. So now on to AEW stuff here. We have Revolution coming up in 13 days. Like I said, time of this recording is March 2nd. Um, and at this current point, it is only 4 matches announced, but we have MJF versus Hangman Adam Page in the last chance Texas Death Match for the World Championship. If Adam Page loses, he will never be able to challenge for the AEW World Championship ever again. So where does that leave Hangman Adam Page? Well, maybe he could fight for the Continental Championship. He could fight for the TNT Championship. I mean, he's currently trios champs with Jet Speed at this point. I really don't know. Um, I would like to see Hangman going for the TNT title. That'd be actually kind of sick. Um, I'm thinking MJF's going to win that one because, I mean, he's just won it. He just won it. Um, and, it's like, it's kind of one of those things where it's like, you really don't want to, like, make him lose again. Um, I really don't know, to be honest with you. Um, let's see. I'm trying to think like how long he's held the title for right now. Uh, let's see here. Let's see. Uh, so at this current point, he's held it for 64 days. At this point, um, you really want to give Hangman the championship again? At this current point, like I think it's just one of those things where it's like if you give Hangman the belt again, it's like who is he going to fight or who is he going to face at this point to even like be in title contention at this point. Um like Joe's injured, like some of these people like they've already faced Hangman before or they haven't like really faced him yet or something, but it's just like one of those things where it's like oh god, it's like you gotta have more main eventers in your main event scene at this point. Um, so other than that, let's see. So we have FTR versus um we have FTR versus Young Bucks for the AEW World Tag Team Championships. That's gonna be kind of sick. I think that's fourth or fifth in their match history. I think. Um, we have John Moxley versus Konosuke Takeshita. No time limit for the AEW Continental Championship. And then we have Andrade El Idolo versus Bandito, which that's actually pretty good. Actually sounds pretty good. Like good match, I would say on paper. Um, but that is at this current point when I'm recording this. But if I have any updates on it, I will put that on either the Twitter or my Twitter, or I'll just say in the um description or in the comments section, like update on the AEW Revolution thing. Um, so sticking with the, I guess the not the theme, but the WrestleMania hype, I guess if you want to call it that. Um, I always look forward to WrestleMania week, or what I call it collective week, for some people. So at this point we have we have some shows, um, on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday probably, and I kind of want to go over some of the events that are going to be on the WrestleMania weekend, I should say. So we have Boca Raton Championship Wrestling Vegas Vacation on Wednesday. We have Podermania, Pandemonium Pro Wrestling. We have Coastal Championship Wrestling. We have Dragon Gate, which that sounds sick. Micromania Midget Wrestling, Hybrid, and Pro Wrestling Unplugged. Um, then we have SHP presents High Stakes, which some of the matches on that card is actually kind of intriguing. Jonathan Gresham versus LJ Clearly, yeah. Um, Emily J versus Brittany Brooks, hell yeah. Shotzi versus Connor Claxton. Dr. Redacted versus Toby Klein, hell fucking yeah. Um, Sean Henderson versus Masato Tanaka, which that's gonna be a crazy match. And then a fuck fest match here. We have Jimmy Lloyd versus John Wayne Murdoch versus Lucky 13 versus Otis Kogar. I mean, like, come on, like, that's like, that's the most fuck fest thing. So Thursday we have Progress Wrestling Chapter 193, Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling live in Las Vegas, which I've always liked the TJPW shows. I actually watched I actually tried to watch the collective stuff last year. Um, it was kind of crazy that they weren't part of the collective this year. I wonder why. New Texas Pro Wrestling, we have St. Louis Anarchy, CMLL. We have the Mark Hitchcock's Memorial Super Show, which has at this time the Swirl versus Subculture, which that's gonna be sick. Um, we have Rise Underground Pro Wrestling. We have West Coast Pro, which at the current time we have Johnny Robbie versus Mio Momono. Mio Momono, yep, Mio Momono. Aja Kong versus Miko Alana. Daniel Luna versus Senka Akat, Akat, Akatsuki. Then Alpha Zoe versus LeBron Kozone, which that's gonna be a crazy ass match. The El Desperado Death Vegas Invitational, which that's gonna be kind of crazy. We have House of Glory. Um, we have micro. We have another Micromania midget wrestling show. Oh yeah. We have Ladies Night Out 16, which's got a good collection of wrestlers on that show. And then we have Game Changer Wrestling MD Fight Club. Um, at this current point, the only match on that card is Hayabusa versus and Masato Tanaka versus Bear Bronson and Mr. Danger. Holy shit. um, then for April 17th, Friday, we have Action Wrestling. We have Gringo Locos World on Lucha for GCW. We have Stardom, American Dream. We have Bloodsport 15 for GCW. I love that they have Friday Night SmackDown on there. Um, knowing that probably a lot of people are probably going to be tired and reckless from the collective shows, probably not a lot of people's going to be watching SmackDown. Let's just be honest with you. Um, let's see. We have Joe Janela Spring Break 10, which has Sandman versus Invisible Man on that show. I know they probably have the Clusterfuck. I think the next day. I think. Um, we have Gigolo Championship Wrestling, Stranglemania, Viva Los Valents. Oh, Vampira's retirement match. Huh, that's crazy. Vampiro. There's a lot of people that's gonna be on that show. Like it says, scheduled appear Vince Russo, Violent J, Shaggy Two Dope, Rob Van Dam, Kenta, Nick Nemeth, James Storm, Doc Gallows, or Doc and uh, Bullet Club, Good Brothers. Charlie Haas, wow, that's a name I haven't heard for fucking ever. Matt Riddle, Congo Kong, wow, I haven't heard that name in a minute either. Beastman, Mr. Happy, Nyla Rose, Too Tough Tony, hell yeah, Big Al, Mickey Knuckles, Facade, Ruffo and Jabbo the Clown, Mecha Wolf, haven't heard that name in a long time either. Jasmine St. Clair, nice. EC3, G's, Willie Mack, Katie Forbes, RVD's wife, girlfriend, whatever. Matt Cross, Abel Booker, Jackson Crowley, Ninja Mac, Danny Moe, PCO, nice. Stephen Flo, wow, okay. Danny Moe, PCO, and Stephen Flo, hell yeah. Cocaine, Hollywood Haley J. That's actually pretty good to get right there. Mr. Anderson, Jonathan Coachman, Ricky Morton, Robert Gibson, Kerry Morton, Caleb Connolly, George South, Big Vito, and the Ring Rat. There's a person called the Ring Rat. That's kind of awesome. Um, So then we have April 18th, which is a big gay brunch. Yeah. One match is only announced at this time: Nyla Rose versus Dark Sheik. That's actually gonna be interesting. Not gonna lie. We have WrestleMania 42 Saturday, which is at 2:30 p.m. The matches announced at this point, which they're probably going to be doing more at this point, putting a lot of eggs in one basket, like I said. Punk versus Roman, Stephanie Faker versus Liv Morgan, Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton, and then Jake Cargill versus Rhea Ripley, and then the Brock Lesnar Open Challenge. Let's be honest with you, not a lot of people are probably going to be watching WrestleMania, but I highly digress. We have Joe Janela Spring Break, the Immortal Clusterfuck, like I said, the next day. Killer Crosses, Natural Born Killers 5. Cool name. And then we have the Sunday shows. Sunday, April 19th. We have Spark Joshi, which Spark Joshi Pro is actually a really good show. I actually got to see it live when it was in Florida one time. I actually got to meet the promoter, got to meet uh Miyu Yamashita. Sorry, I want to say that correctly. Yamashita. It was actually kind of cool. It was actually a really good time. Um, yeah, the promoter. I don't think I've ever told the story, but the promoter. I had said something about. I was talking about something, and I was like, "Yeah, I got these like third row seats and all that stuff." And the I think either promoter or the person that was under the promoter had messaged me through Gmail and was like, "Hey, well, we had a cancellation on this front row seats. Like, if you want to take it." And I was like, "Fuck yeah!" I'm not gonna say no. And it was actually like a good show. I just hate the fucking chairs, man. I just hate the chairs. Because it's like not very comfortable chairs. And plus I had like a 2.5 hour ride back home that night, so I was not very comfortable. um, so then we have WrestleMania 42 Sunday, and then we had Monday Night Raw after on 420. Nice. Um, so I know that's not really all of the shows. I think that's all the shows, but I think there will probably be more as time goes on. Um, but I mean, like most of those Mania shows, like I'm probably just gonna be watching the indie shows. I don't really give a shit about the Mania this year. I don't. I haven't even, like I said, I don't even watch wrestling on WWE product anymore, and I mean that's fine. That's fine. Um, so, keeping with the collective stuff here, I want to talk about the Havoc Pro collective, which it is going to be in LA for Collective Week. And if you haven't, uh, if you haven't looked on the Havoc Pro Twitter or anything, yes, Havoc Pro is running collective this year. And there's going to be a lot of promotions coming together for a good cause, for just freaking wrestling. So, this is going to be on the first week of April, April 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. And we're going to kick things off with For the Culture on April 2nd. Then we're going to be kicking it to Supremacy Wrestling, and then we have Brittany Blake's Real Hot Girl Shit. I think this is the fourth or fifth one. I'm thinking this is the fifth one. I could be wrong. And then capping off the night with Ryan Perez's Bloodsport 3. The Bloodsport events is always killer, all killer, no filler. There has been some crazy ass shit that's been going on within the Bloodsport shows as well. Um, they're always a good time. Um, and there's some good ass people on the four on the for the culture card, if I can speak. Um, like Hakeem Hustle, we have Bubba Perkins, we have some really really talented people on that show. That is going to showcase what they've brought to that brought them to the fucking dance. Um, and we have shows in Phoenix coming up. We have we have we were supposed to have the shows in Atlantic City. One of which was had to be canceled due to some stuff. But we keep trucking along. But we have March 7th in Phoenix coming up. Or well, at the time of this recording, sorry. Um, but yes, at this current point, we have Lucky Carnage for Bloodsport 3. We have, oh man, we have a lot of people. We have Miles King for the Culture Show. We have Jimmy Darrow for Austin Cunningham's Spring Break 4. We have Ray de Lucha's The World on Lucha show coming up. We have Hakeem Hustle for the Florida Culture show. I mean, Austin Cunningham himself, obviously. Elijah Knight is on that show. We have uh, Kylie LaRue, or Kyrie Lavu, on the Brittany Blake's Real Hot Girl Shit Show, if I could say it. We have Sydney LeRae on the Bloodsport 3 coming up. Just some really good action all around on these 4 days. So going to April 3rd, we have Remy Hazuko Fucked Up Fest. We have Crazy Joe's Do Something or Whatever, who knows. We have Austin Cunningham's Spring Break 4, and then we have Death Wish Wrestling to cap off the night there. We have Dakota Falls Big Gay Brunch 2, Pro Wrestling Shines, and Havoc Pro. We have Ray DeLucha's World on Lucha. We have Riot Pro Wrestling. We have Shotgun Pro Wrestling. God called in sick today. That's actually a pretty cool name. And then we have, to cap off the end of Collective Week, we have Solus Pro Wrestling to cap things off there. It is going to be a very, very jam packed week of action for Havoc Collective Week. Hopefully, you guys come out to the shows and show some support. If I could speak today, I feel like I'm malfunctioning over here. And it's also like I said, it's a good time. Come out support some eFed wrestling. I mean, also show some support for indie wrestling out there, because Mania Week is going to be full of crazy matches and crazy shows and all that stuff. And I guess that's where I will end it for this episode. This is actually a really cool way to kind of tap off the shoot the shit, because the 40th one kind of had to make it big. You just jam packing all this information and shit in there. Um, like I said, talked about Elimination Chamber, Danhausen, talked about the Real Life Collective for Mania Week and Weekend, Havoc Pro Collective Week. And yeah, that's where I'm gonna end it. So, if you have made it to the very end of this video, please make sure to follow us on all social media links in the description below, which will take you to our Linktree page, which will take you to our Instagram pages, Twitter pages, the podcast Reddit pages on there, my gaming YouTube channel is on there, and tonight's song of the night, like I said, I'm going to try to keep it 80s here. There has been some really good 80s music that I've actually listened to a lot, and one of them is from The Romantics. It is talking in your sleep, and think there's a music video for it. I really don't know. But it did come out in 1983, so there's just hopefully there is. Um, and yeah, that is it. Thank you so much for listening and or watching me ramble on wrestling for almost an hour long. And I will see you guys this Thursday for the end of March. Peace. Have a good one, everyone.